For various reasons, the pandemic saw violent crime rates accelerate, having widespread impact. The record number of homicides in Little Rock alone factored into the mayoral election and the search for a new police chief. The rising crime is also putting pressure on the state's court system. I did some digging into the data and found some troubling backlogs and the problems they're causing.
When you do the math and the numbers, and with the numbers that keep coming in daily, you're always playing catch up, and I don't know how we catch up at this point.
If Greg Parrish looks tired, cut him some slack. He's the director of the state's Public Defenders Commission. Parrish oversees the deployment of the men and women willing to defend people when they enter the criminal justice system and can't afford their own lawyer. And to use a sports analogy, he's coaching with a very short bench.
The problem is in certain sectors of the state, even here in Little Rock, is finding people interested in doing this type of work.
Parrish says the pandemic made a large number of those willing attorneys leave that type of work. Years of experience have been drained, and it's causing an acute problem.
Our problem is the more violent cases, the Y felony cases. And to get to handle the Y felony cases, you have to acquire the experience, the trial experience to do so. That takes years. And when I lose one person with, say, 15 years experience, you don't replace that overnight. It's impossible.
That loss of expertise comes at a bad time. With record numbers of homicides in Little Rock in 2022 and similar trends across the state, the pattern is straightforward. Crime goes up, police arrest more people, more criminal cases are made, meaning more times that a judge, a prosecutor, and a defense attorney all have to crank up the criminal justice system. And the surge threatens to make an already imbalanced process even worse.
I think this is a problem nationwide, in fact. The government tends to underfund public defenders more than it underfunds prosecutors' offices.
Bowen Law School professor Robert Steinbach lays out the looming problem.
And the consequences, perhaps obviously, are that the criminal defendants themselves have attorneys who are overworked and can't apply a level of attention to each individual case.
That's because the number of individual cases is on the rise. The court system in Arkansas, we're talking courthouses big and small, is run by the Administrative Office of the Courts under the state Supreme Court. They have a research arm that tracks how efficiently it's all working. No one from the judiciary branch would talk to us on camera, but the reports they generate are publicly available. When it comes to caseloads, the data seems daunting. 2 years ago, a national database started including Arkansas's numbers. They showed Arkansas as the busiest criminal court system in America relative to its size. On top of that, the newly passed Protect Arkansas Act figures to put more pressure on the system. That's because the parole reform law will lock some convicted criminals into serving 85 or 100% of their sentence. That's a change from the current structure that can allow them to get out of prison much sooner, as little as a quarter in extreme cases, critics point to. Parrish says because of this change, fewer cases are likely to avoid trials with plea deals.
We're going to have a lot more trials early, because having dealt with defendants over the years, it's going to be extremely hard for any defendant to sign up to take 100% on any time he or she receives.
State Senator Ben Gilmore helped write the new law. He says prosecutors, at least, are aware.
One of the things that we were very mindful of is we put effective dates so that it would phase in. And then the other thing that we've also done is made sure that there's monies available to educate prosecutors so that they understand all the facets of the bill.
A facet of the bill that could help, growing reliance on specialty courts with judges dedicated to hearing drug or mental health cases. And Parrish is working with the prosecutors in the busiest circuits to improve efficiency. Beyond that, he's trying to get the new young attorneys he's been able to attract the experience they need while helping the prosecutors work through the volume of cases. But he needs help in a hurry.
I'm telling my people right now, we have to act immediately with some type of new ideas with the backlog we've got now, because I envision the first 6 to 12 months when the crime bill kicks in, it's going to have some impact. Serious impact.
In Little Rock, Rolly Hoyt, THV 11 News.